Opreneur.com and StephanieGrams.com. I am the Memory Bear Business Coach, and I teach all things memory bears and keepsake sewing. This is a t-shirt that one of my customers want in their quilt. As you can see, this t-shirt is very, very worn, and there's holes that may need to be included in the quilt, and this is how I'm going to handle it. And you might have your own special way of handling this, but right now this is what I will be doing. So I will go ahead. Sorry about moving the camera. I'm going to go ahead and cut down the sides. There's nothing on the back, so what I'm going to do is cut as close to the sleeve seam as I can. Okay, and then we have the side seams and the shoulder seams. So I'm going to cut up the side seam. I'm going to aim it more towards the back of the shirt than the front. I just want to make sure I have plenty of space around those characters. Now there's probably all kinds of ways to do this, but this is just the way I do it, and you can definitely do this however it works for you. Okay. I've worked with damaged clothes before, and so it's not like my first rodeo here. So this is basically what it looks like right now. It's very stretchy, like I said, it's very worn. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut a little bit off the top up here. All right, on the shoulder part, just to get that out of my way. Now that we have it laying flat, I'm going to smooth it out like this. The best I can. I'm going to iron it here in just a second, but right now I'm measuring this. So this is the largest grid that I have, and it's a 12 by 12. And so up here you can see that I need to slide it over almost 1.5 inches from these little characters. I'm going to get my Taylor chalk. I prefer to work with Taylor chalk versus those like erasable markers. I really don't like working with those if I don't have to. Now obviously in this kind of business, sometimes we have to. All right, now I've marked it about 1 inch to 1.5 inches from this logo. I need to do the same thing on this side. So I'm just going to match the top of the grid to this cut line, and then I'm going to go over here and look 1 inch to 1.5 inches. Now I'm not shooting for perfection right yet. I haven't cut anything. I haven't stabilized it yet, nothing like that. I'm just giving myself a visual at this point. Same here. Down here we see the logos, the little characters. I'm going to try to get 1 inch to 1.5 inches away from this. So here's my, I know it's a little hard to see, here's my inch marks, right? So I'm going to have to center this 2-inch mark can be touching this circle. All right, so let's try that and see if that part will work. The 2-inch mark is touching the bottom of the circle, so that will give us almost 2 inches here, and that should work. So we're gonna go here. I'm gonna come over here and match this line to this line over here. All right. Now what I can do is I can put my chalk away. I can get my rotary cutter out, and I can cut on these lines. Some people like to iron their fusible interfacing on first, which I just did that in a different tutorial, but now I'm going to do it this way. I'm showing you different ways. You can find what works best for you. Some people don't even use interfacing, but we won't be doing that. We are using interfacing on all of our t-shirts because I don't want them to be all stretched out of shape. All right, now I'm going to shut your blade in between moving this around. Try to remember to shut your blade, okay? I'm going to line the grid up, cut that line here. Follow the cut line. And everything you see in my video, I had to pay for myself. I'm not sponsored. Now, if somebody wants to sponsor me, that would be fantastic. I would gladly give you a shout out, but I will not be shouting out the products that I use unless I am sponsored. So, because I'm not sponsored, I will not be getting a shout out. All right. So here we go. Here, get this out of the way. All right, now we have this cut line. Follow on. Try to follow this all the way up. Right here. Okay, there we go. All right, I'm going to move my grid out of the way for the time being, and then what we have here is the t-shirt block. Now I'm going to take this really sturdy special stabilizer, and it's several yards. How many yards did I get on this? Doesn't even say. That's nice. I think this roll was at least 3 yards of the stabilizer. So it's one huge piece of fabric right now, or stabilizer right now. So this is what I'm going to do. If you've never used stabilizer before, there's a bumpy side and then there's a smooth side. The bumpy side is glue. So that's the side that has to be ironed on to your t-shirt. And because my t-shirt is facing up right this moment, I have the glue facing up, okay? Now we're gonna change that up in just a minute, but right now, since I'm filming, I'm showing you a different way. I don't always do it this way, but I like to show my students different ways to handle a situation, okay? And here we go. I'm smoothing this out. It's not distorted, so we haven't ironed anything yet. So we can go ahead and smooth out all these wrinkles, all right? Because you don't want wrinkles. Again, you can take your tailor's chalk if you want. You don't have to. And you can put your cutting line on the stabilizer, like I'm doing here. All right, perfection is not part of this sewing. One reason I love it. I'm going to move the t-shirt again. I'm going to get out my grid. And what I'm going to do, exactly what I did earlier. I'm going to take